Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. We'll get started here in just a moment. Let us go live on all the different platforms. Hope everyone had a great holiday weekend and is ready to get back to it here. And we'll see what the rates are looking like today. And then we'll get into our deep dive topic. Go ahead and drop a comment there in the chat as you tune in. And it looks like we're live on all the different platforms, so we will go ahead and get started. Go ahead and keep dropping comments there as you tune in. You can also drop any questions you have as you tune in and as we go through our deep dive topic here for today. But we'll take the chat off the screen for now, and we will go ahead and get into it. All right. Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president, Nick Hershey, and our sales manager, Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender that specializes in non-QM loans. And what we do every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on this show is go through our live rates, and then we do a deep dive into a different loan type. Today's loan type is going to be bank statement loans, very popular here at the Mortgage Calculator because we specialize in non-QM loans, and that is essentially the most popular non-QM loan out there. So Jose will take us into a deep dive into that shortly. But before we do that, we'll do what we do every morning, which is pull up the rate. So interested to see what it's looking like here today after the 3-day weekend. So Nick, if you're ready, let's go ahead and pull up the pricing and see what the rates are looking like today.
All right. So we will check out the pricing here. We'll compare across all the programs. For today, it is May 28th, just after 11 a.m. Eastern. So all of our programs have rates issued for this morning. We will set up a basic scenario, 500,000 purchase, 400,000 loan amount. That corresponds to 80% loan to value, 20% down payment. And we'll set everything to a 760 estimated FICO credit score and an estimated 40% debt to income ratio here for all the examples. And we'll get to our DSCR loans, our favorite loans. We will use a value of 1.5, which I will explain when we get there. So we will show the rates here for all our programs and compare the APR across them. If you'd like a full breakdown, please get with our team members. We have over 300 loan officers that can send a full itemized loan estimate. Let me go ahead and switch the screen here. All right. So typically the first option that we want to look at for most customers is our standard 30-year fixed conventional, which is about the same as it was yesterday. Rates as low as 6.624. Final APR comes in at 6.966. Or I guess not yesterday, Friday, when we last looked at the rates. And if our customer for any reason doesn't qualify for a conventional option, typically the option we want to present is an FHA option. FHA allows more leniency on credit issues, as well as a much higher debt to income ratio. So rates today come in as low as 5.875. Final APR 6.841 with all of the upfront and yearly mortgage insurance that is required. So we'll compare the APR. If our customer qualifies for both, FHA could be a touch cheaper, so definitely look out for both. And if our customer needs to use the FHA for the leniency, definitely a great option. It's very comparable to the conventional. Now moving on to our VA option. VA is only available for our eligible veterans and active service members. If you are, it's a great program. 30-year fixed VA standard program comes in as low as 5.99 today. Final APR of 6.301 with the standard funding fee there. But notice it's substantially better APR, final APR, than an FHA or a conventional option. So definitely a great benefit for our veterans out there that are eligible. And final option here for our standard agency and government options is our USDA option. USDA is only eligible for properties in USDA eligible areas, typically rural areas. If you are looking in those areas, definitely a great option. Rates as low as 5.875, and the final APR with all the fees comes in at 6.617. So typically when we're looking at a USDA option, we'll be comparing to an FHA or conventional, which notice the USDA option is a touch lower on the APR than both FHA and conventional. So for those that do qualify for the program and areas that do qualify, definitely a great option to look at. And now moving on to our favorite options. Those standard for are what every bank or lender may have. But if your customer doesn't qualify for that, typically the other banks or lenders may have to deny them. But that's where we love to present our 5,000 additional options, including our first up here, our 30-year fixed non-QM alt doc option. for a primary home using alternative income. Typically, this means bank statement or similar, which is our topic for today. But we also have 1099, P&L, asset related, all kinds of different options once we get into this category. Typically, the lowest rate option you see here at 6.999 and the final APR at 7.344 will typically be a bank statement option. And we'll compare this to conventional. So if our customer for some reason doesn't qualify for a standard conventional and we need to use alt docs, notice we're within a half a point of the conventional programs and the final APR cost here. So a great option for our customers that need to use it. And Jose will go into all the deep dive examples on those bank statement options. Next up is a non-QM alt doc for an investment property. So if our customer needs to use alternative documentation for an investment property, rates as low as 7.5 today. Final APR comes in at 7.820. Again, this would typically be a bank statement or similar option, but we have tons of programs. Now moving on to other investment property options. Remember, government programs do not work for investments, so no USDA, no VA, no FHA, but we do have our conventional option. So 30-year fixed conventional for an investment property today comes in as low as 7.5 rate. Final APR 7.855. So notice it's just a touch higher than our alt doc option, but very comparable. And moving on to our favorite options here and our most popular loans are DSCR options. No income, no employment needed. We simply use the estimated rents to determine a DSCR value. As I mentioned before, for these demos, we use a DSCR value of 1.5, meaning the property cash flows significantly so we can see all of the most common options. And first up for our DSCR is a 3-year prepayment penalty, which is the most common option. So today that comes in at 7.374 rate. Final APR 7.701, which is even cheaper than conventional. So when you compare those side by side, most investors would take a DSCR option even at much higher rates and costs, but it's actually beating conventional today, which is amazing. And to sweeten the deal even more, we can add a 5-year prepayment penalty to lower the rates. That comes in at 7% today. Final APR 7.342. Which really beats conventional by a lot. So for our investors out there willing to add a 5-year prepayment penalty, it definitely makes the opportunity better. And moving down here to our no prepayment penalty option. Some investors don't want a prepayment penalty, no problem, but it is a little bit more expensive. Rates come in at 7.999. Final APR 8.513. So notice that's a little bit more expensive than conventional when you remove the prepayment penalty. Definitely recommend our investors add a prepayment penalty, take advantage of one of these options, which is a significantly better option. And next up on our list here, 30-year fixed second mortgage for primary. So this is a great option for our customers out there looking to get cash out, but do not want to touch their first mortgage and don't want a HELOC or variable rate mortgage. So fixed rate second mortgages come in today at 9.625, final APR 10.097. And the final option here, which is going to be our topic later this week, 40-year amortization, which is popular for our DSCR loans, for our investors out there looking to maximize cash flow by lowering that payment and stretching it out over 40 years instead of 30. This is a standard 3-year prepayment penalty option. Rates come in at 7.625, final APR 7.929. So notice that's just a touch higher than conventional, and you can use 40-year amortization. Some very popular requests for our investors out there looking to maximize the cash flow. So let me switch my screen again here. And we'll get back into today's topic, which is our bank statement loan option. So very popular option. Again, that's typically what you see there on our live demo when we're looking at the general category of all our alt doc options. Bank statement is the most popular. So Jose will go into some deep dive examples on ways to actually apply this program, since when we do the live rates, we are just looking in general. So Jose, if you're ready, let's go ahead and check out the options that we have.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Bank statement loans definitely picked up a lot of momentum when the interest rate environment started rising, right? Those borrowers that were previously pre-approved at a 3% rate now would not be pre-approved for the same amount at 6% or higher. But luckily for our self-employed borrowers, yes, because bank statement loans are for self-employed borrowers only, there is a solution. And that's why bank statement loans represent such a high percentage of non-QM loan origination, right? Great. It's a great option when you can have a borrower, if we're going full doc with tax returns, who may have an income of $2,000 or $3,000 a month, all of a sudden have an income of $15,000 or $18,000 a month when we're using bank statements, and now they can qualify for their home. Maximum LTV is 90%, as is the case for all non-QM loans, and never any mortgage insurance either. So any LTVs above 80% that you see, the MI is already priced into the rate. So let me share my options with you this morning. So our first example here is with the maximum LTV of 90%. It is for a primary home, so no mortgage. No prepayment penalty on this loan. And our lowest cost option is at par, 9.25%, and lowest rate option, 8%. And I would like to add never any MI on any QM loans. So this is our 90% LTV primary purchase. 90% is the maximum LTV. So now we have 15% down. I always like to show the progression of the rates as the LTV gets lower. So in this case now, with 15% down for the primary, we're at 8.375% on the lowest cost option and 7.375% lowest rate option. Pretty phenomenal. And now this is with 20% down, which used to be the norm for these bank statement loans. So we're at 7.5% lowest cost option, almost at par with a 0.125 point fee, loan discount fee. And you can buy that down all the way to 7.125 at a cost of 1.25 points. Amazing options there. That rate will not get any lower unless it's an investment property with a 5-year prepay. And now talking about investment properties now. Unless stated otherwise, all of my investment property quotes are with a 3-year prepayment penalty. So our first option here, 15% down investment. That is the minimum down payment. So 85% LTV is the maximum LTV for an investment property bank statement loan on a purchase. 9.749 lowest cost option, and you can buy that down all the way to 7.749 at a cost of 3.5 points. And our bank statement investment purchase, 20% down, the more standard. Now you see the rates get much better, right? 7.75 with a little bit of a lender credit, 0.2 points. And you can buy that down all the way to 7.375. And this is with the 3-year prepay. Now our bank statement primary refi cash out, no prepay on this one, at an 80% LTV, which is the max. 8.25, almost at par at a cost of 0.125 points. And you can buy that down all the way to 7.375 at a cost of 2.25 points. Great rates here. So now our investment, bank statement investment cash out is also maximum 80% LTV. This is with a 3-year prepay. And we're at 8.625, almost at par with a cost of 0.125. And you can buy that down to 7.499. Can't forget that last 9. And this is our bank statement, 80% LTV investment. And now, give you a little context like I always like to do. Here is our 5-year prepayment option with an 80% LTV also. So as you can see here, 8.375, almost at par. So it looks like we drop. Let's see here. Looks like we drop about a half a point in 0.5% in rate. and at the same cost. So the 5 year, the extra 2 years in prepay gives us a 0.25% reduction in the interest rate. So now we're at 8.375 at a cost of 0.125, and like I guessed, 6.999 is our lowest rate option. So with the 5 year prepay, we're able to go down into the high sixes on a cash out. Wow, this is pretty amazing. This is cash out at 80% LTV, and we're using bank statements. And now, my last three examples, I'm going to give you the lower credit score option for bank statement. At a 75% LTV, we can still attain at a 600 credit score, we can still attain 75% LTV. So that is amazing. 600 credit score equals 75% LTV on a purchase. And this is a primary purchase. So we're at 10.499, almost at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 9.375. Wow. And our bank statement primary cash out is 70% with a 600 credit score. 10.999 is our lowest cost option. 9.875 is our lowest rate option. 600 credit score, 75% LTV. It's pretty amazing. And now our last example here is the bank statement primary purchase with a 575 credit score. We can take that up to 65% LTV. 10.999 will cost you 2 points. This is a brokered option, so this is borrower paid on the pricing. So there's an extra broker fee there to the borrower, which then puts this option so much better. But again, this is a 600. The other one is a 575. That's also the lowest score for our DSCR. So looking forward to helping you all structure your bank statement loans. Look out to going bank statement when you have that self-employed borrower. If you're facing going full doc or bank statement, compare the pricing, because often the pricing is the same or not much different for using 12 months bank statements rather than tax returns.
All right. Great topic today because very common, right? So I don't see any questions here. But as Jose said, amazing opportunity here for self-employed borrowers. All right, no questions. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, we do this every weekday, 11 a.m. Eastern, where we go through the live rates and then do a deep dive into different loan topic. We got some great topics this week. So we will see you all tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern for the next episode of